Come on, baby, get in there. Get in there. Get in there. Oh, look at that. Hi, I'm Bob Toski, Dean of the Golf Digest Instruction School. One of the most important strokes in the game of golf is the putt. You know, it can make or break a champion. The best putters on tour today are averaging about 31 putts per round. How about you? How would you like to get down to 31 to 30 putts a round? The good news is that understanding good putting principles and proper practice, you can become a solid putter of the ball like those tour players. Today, I want you to listen to a man whose advice is priceless. It's also painless and could be very profitable. Here's Tom Ness.
Thanks, Bob. As Bob and the rest of us at our Golf Digest schools have discovered, most golfers don't reach their potential as putters for 4 major reasons. We'll be dealing with them in today's lesson: mechanics, how to practice, how to warm up, and how to develop a good putting routine. We'll show you how to build a mechanically sound stroke and how to practice and make it fun. We'll show you a warm-up routine that will sharpen your putting senses and rid your mind of negative or mechanical thoughts. Finally, you and I will put it all together into a systematic playing routine that will make your putting more profitable. Over the years, there have been many successful but seemingly different putting strokes. From the long flowing stroke of a Bobby Jones to the firm rhythmical tap of a Billy Casper. Despite their obvious differences, they do have a few things in common. They all have a rhythmical stroke with a definite beat to it, and they all hit the ball solidly. With today's greens, more consistent and considerably faster, today's modern players have worked to minimize the amount of wrist motion in their stroke. Now, let's find out how they do it and how you and I can do it too. To develop sound mechanics, let's establish 3 goals. Let's create a swing with a rhythmical beat. Let's learn to make consistent, solid contact. And let's learn to minimize our power sources. We'll start by creating that swing and developing a rhythmical beat. Let's look at some tour players. The metronome will help you feel their rhythm and find your own. Experiment with the Goldilocks theory. Try different strokes till you find one that's just right for you. Try the long, flowing stroke. And then try the shorter, firmer tap. And find which one gives you the best results. You may also find that closing your eyes while you swing will help you get a better feel for the weight of the club. Also helpful is counting as you stroke. Like 1, 2 for the long flowing stroke, and 1, 2 for the short rhythmical tap. The key to maintaining this rhythm is in your grip pressure. Tests show that the good players vary in the amount of grip pressure used. However, they all keep that pressure constant throughout the stroke. Find the rhythm and grip pressure that match up. For a slow, smooth stroke, a light grip pressure is necessary to feel the weight of the club head. For the shorter, quicker, tapping type stroke, use a firmer grip pressure. Use your thumb and forefinger to sense and feel the weight of the club head, like you do when you choose a cashmere sweater. Remember, the key word here is constant. One word about your equipment. If you find that your stroke has a tendency to get too fast, a heavier putter may be helpful. On the other hand, if you find that you have a tendency to decelerate, a lighter model may be helpful to you. Let's move on to solid contact. Okay, now that we've created a rhythmical swing, let's put the ball in the way and learn to make solid contact. Solid contact simply means hitting the middle of the ball with the middle of the club. By middle, we mean the sweet spot, and here's how you find it. Take your putter and hold it in front of you. Tap the face with the ball. Start out on the toe, and as you work inward, you'll find a spot where the club will bounce straight backwards. That is the sweet spot. That's where you'd like to contact the ball. To make solid contact happen consistently, we need to learn how to position the body, how to position the club, and finally, how to position the ball. Let's start with the body. The key here is to position your spine at right angles to your target line. Your spine position in an arm-shoulder stroke will influence the direction of the swing. If your spine were to lean too far to the right, the swing would be from inside the target line to out. And if your spine were to lean too far to the left, your swing would have a tendency to swing outside on the backswing and inside on the forward swing. If we position our spine directly at right angles, we will get the truest possible swing. Okay, let's now put the club into position. What we want to do here is position the golf club so that it sits flat on the ground and so that our arms are hanging down in a position which we find the grip directly underneath the shoulders. This will allow the club to swing along the line in the truest fashion. If we were to address the ball with the arms inward from a line directly downward, the club would have a tendency to swing out on the backswing and arc to the outside on the forward swing. If we had the handle or grip of the club positioned too far outward, it would have a tendency to swing in going back and in going forward, dramatically opening and closing the club face. So what we want here is a position where the handle is hanging directly underneath a line vertically down from the shoulders. When you look at this position, you'll also note that my eyes are directly over the target line. To find the right ball position, remember your goal was to hit the middle of the ball with the middle of the club face. If we position the ball too far to the right in the stance, we'll contact the ball on the downstroke, catching the top of the ball with the top of the face. If we move the ball too far forward, we would catch the ball on the upstroke, contacting the bottom of the ball with the bottom of the club. But if we position the ball in the right spot, we will catch the ball at the bottom of the arc, hitting the middle of the ball with the middle of the face. To find this position, try this drill. Take a nickel and a quarter and place the nickel on top, and then address it as if it were the golf ball. If your weight is distributed directly over the coins, as you swing, the club will knock the nickel cleanly off the quarter. If your ball position is too far to the right, and you've leaned your weight too far to the left, when you swing, you will move both coins. If your ball position is too far forward, with your weight distributed too far to the right, your club will swing, reach the bottom of the arc behind the coins, and swing over them without any contact at all. Remember that your ball position and your weight distribution are directly correlated, and you can find it simply by practicing this exercise. Let's simplify our putting stroke by minimizing our power sources. Why? Because the fewer things that go on during the stroke, the less chance for error. Most of the better players today have developed a stroke where they've unified the shaft of the golf club and the arms so that they swing together in one unit. To achieve this one levered swing, we want to focus on the grip. And we have two goals here. Number one, that we grip the golf club so that an extension of the club would be right in between the forearms. Number two, we want to position the hands on the golf club so that the hands are either facing one another or turned outward If you choose this method, make sure that you turn them outward the same degree in each hand. The more outward you turn them, the less chance for the wrist to get into the act. Now here's a checkpoint that we'd like you to try. Hold the club parallel to the ground, and then grip the club with your elbows comfortably at your side. When you grip the club, you want to make sure that the shaft of the club is in line with the arms. An extension of the shaft would be cradled between them, so that the left arm would be directly in front of the grip and the right hand and arm directly behind. If the shaft is parallel to the ground and your forearms are parallel to the ground, then you're in the correct position for a one-levered stroke. Simply bend from the hips and the knees until your club is soled on the ground. Now you're ready to play. Let's watch some of the tour players and see how they do it. Here's Hal Sutton. Notice how the handle of the club is in a line directly down from his shoulders, and that his eyes are over the target line. He uses a smooth, rhythmical stroke with one power source. Here's a stroke from another angle. Watch Tom Kite use the same principles. Kite again. Here's Hale Irwin. Same basic stroke. To become a good putter, you need to develop 5 things. You need to have good distance or speed control. You need to know how to aim and control the direction of your shots. You also need a repeating stroke, the right mental attitude, and the ability to read the greens. The good news is that these things can be practiced, and here's how. Distance or speed control is the most important because it also determines the line. Here's a drill that we think will help, the ladder drill. Place 3 clubs perpendicular to the target line at equal intervals from your lie on the practice green. Start by putting to the farthest club, getting a feel for the distance and speed of the green. Remember, focus only on the distance. Hold your club at the end of its arc while you watch the ball finish its roll. Now do the same thing using the middle club as your target area. Try it with the club closest to you. Then alternate targets. Your feel for speed and distance control will get sharper, guaranteed. Now let's work on our aim and get better directional control. Most important here is that you practice in a controlled environment where you know the golf club is aimed properly. Here are 2 examples. I've put a carpenter's chalk line down to indicate the target line. The idea is to put your club face down at right angles to the line. Remember, you can't set up square to something that's round. You must first visualize the line. Pick a spot in the back of the cup or use a tee when practicing. Okay, so you're not a carpenter. Just substitute 2 golf clubs and put them down parallel to the target line. Also important is the procedure for aiming. Aim the club face first while you track the eyes to the back of the cup. Then position the body. Then look one more time to the back of the cup and then swing. Once more. Aim the club face first, tracking the eyes to the back of the cup. Then position the body. Track the eyes one more time, then swing. Here's a way to check the repeatability of your stroke. Try this cluster drill. Put 3 balls down and line up your first one, and putt it, feeling the swing you make. Don't look at the result. Now, putt the second one, trying to use the exact same stroke. Again, don't look at the result. Now try the third one, same stroke. The tighter the cluster, the more your stroke is repeated. How do you work on your attitude? You can start by finding more than one way to be successful. Even a 3-foot putt can go in the hole in different ways. Here's a 3-ball drill you can use to prove it. Putt 3 balls from short range. Try to make the first one just die into the hole. Make the second one go into the center of the cup. Try to make the third one hit the back of the cup firmly and drop in. Here's something we've developed at our Golf Digest schools to help you make good putting decisions. We ask you to assign colors to 3 putting zones. From the red zone, stop trying to make it. Your objective here is to get down in 2. From the yellow zone, proceed with caution. Maybe try to make it, but at the very least, get it close enough for a tap-in. And from the green zone, go for it. Remember, the closer you get to the hole, the more aggressive your attitude must be. The drill has shown us that there's 3 options for the ball to go into the hole. Work at picking the option that puts your mind at ease so your body can perform. Always focus on a very specific positive result. Enjoy putting. As the saying goes, there's nothing finer than the sound of the ball dropping in the cup. Let's talk about green reading. The 2 most important aspects of green reading are speed and slope. And here's a drill that will help you with both. There's no substitute for experience. The more times you watch your ball roll across sloping terrain, the better. Also notice how the speed determines the line.
This is Bob Toski. Tom has pretty much calculated what the slope will do to the ball. In other words, how the ball will break. He's put 2 tees in the ground at the apex of the curve of the break, making a gate. He putts the balls through the gate, working on the speed that will get the job done. You won't make every one. Tom can, I can't, no one can. But you'll make some, and you'll develop a great feel for how the ball is going to behave. It's a great confidence builder too, and it's really going to help you mentally the next time you're out there staring at one of those 20-foot snakes.
When you're reading the green, what you're actually doing is formulating an opinion of what you think the ball's going to do. The stronger the opinion, the better. If there's doubt in your mind, it'll show up in your stroke. Let's watch Bob formulate an opinion out on the golf course. Bob has chosen a 7-iron for his second shot to the green on this hole. Watch what happens as soon as he hits it.
Well, I got a putt at the birdies. Let's take a look at that green up there and see what I've got to work with my putter. Thanks. Take a look at that green, work on that putt, see if we can get that thing down.
As Bob is walking down the fairway, he looks at the green off in the distance. From there, he gets a general idea of the slope of the green. As he walks up on the green, he walks along the low side, getting a more specific look at the slope. Bob then goes behind, gets down low, and looks down the line of the putt. From here, he gets even a more specific look at the putt. Then he rehearses his stroke, he aims his club, positions his body, and swings. Remember to look at the green from the fairway. Look at the putt from the low side, and look from down low behind the ball. This should give you a strong opinion of what the ball's going to do. The only thing left is to be firm in your conviction. Let's talk about warming up, because it's different from practice. It's what you do just before you go out to play. Most people warm up incorrectly. They take 3 balls and they go to the putting green and they practice 20-footers. A machine would miss a good percentage of the time from that distance. So what they're doing is feeding their mind with negative thoughts. A better procedure would be to go to the green with 3 goals in mind. To get a feel for the speed of the greens you're about to play. To get a feel for your stroke. And finally, to reinforce your ability to aim the club. Here's how to get the feel for the speed of the greens. Take 3 balls to the practice green and putt across the green, trying to make all 3 come as close as possible to the fringe. After a couple of tries, your touch should be pretty good, with all 3 balls coming close to the edge. Then take the 3 balls and putt the first ball 1/3 of the way. Then putt the second ball 2/3 of the way. And then putt the third ball all the way to the fringe. Try and get equal intervals between the balls. Then putt the first one to the fringe. Then putt the second one to the fringe. When all 3 balls are up against the fringe, you've got a good feel for the speed of the greens. This is an excellent drill to help your swing repeat. It's simple. We've done it before in practice, and it's good to do before you go out to play. You're concentrating on making the same exact swing on each putt. Don't look at the results until after you've hit the 3rd ball. The ball cluster will tell you whether your swing is repeating or not. Before you go out to play, you need to rehearse the procedure of aiming your club. Start in close, where you're most likely to succeed. Carefully aim the face of the club first while you track your eyes down the line to a spot in the back of the cup. Then position your body. Let your eyes follow the line one more time to the spot in the back of the cup, and then back to the ball, and then swing. A handful of these should reinforce your aiming procedure and get you ready to play.
This is really useful practice, and it makes practice fun, too. It introduces the element of competition to practice.
That's right, Bob. Take a partner on in a match around the course's putting clock. It's a great way to sharpen your fundamentals, develop good green reading habits, and play under a little bit of friendly pressure. That's what's going to happen out on the golf course, and here's a terrific place to build your foundation for that. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. Let's see if we can put it all together into a sound playing routine. First of all, let's read the green. While we're reading the green, we want to picture the speed that we want the ball to roll in the cup. We want to visualize the line that the ball will take. Once we've formulated a strong opinion, let's rehearse the stroke that we think will produce the correct speed. And let's aim the club, tracking the eyes down the intended line. When you're happy with your aim, we position the body. Track the eyes one more time, and then we go for it. And that's our lesson for today, Bob.
Thanks, Tom. That was a really productive session. What more can I say? Tom's given us a complete and comprehensive guide to successful putting. We've worked on mechanics, distance control, aim and direction control, a positive attitude, and how to read greens. I do want to emphasize the importance of practice. We've shown you how to have fun at it, and we want you to remember why it's important. You know, practice makes perfect, and perfect makes champions. See you in the winner's circle.